Smiling Friends Season 3 Episode 8 is here. And so with that said, I'll be breaking down the episode, covering everything that happens, and giving my overall review of the episode. So drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into Smiling Friends Season 3 Episode 10. The episode starts out with us seeing the Smiling Friends headquarters wearing a Santa hat, showing instantly that this episode would be a Christmas special, before we see Mr. Boss giving all the Smiling Friends their yearly performance review, with Pim and Charlie making 126 people smile, Alan handling all the emails and documents. But as they look at what Glep did this year, they see that he's not here at all, which poses the question, what does Glep even do? And as the others tell Mr. Boss that all Glep does all day is sit in his beanbag and play on his tablet, Mr. Boss says that this needs to change, and they go to confront Glep, as we see him, of course, in his beanbag playing on his tablet with a million different games and pop-ups. But as Mr. Boss tells Glep to name one thing he does at this company and asks him why he even hired him in the first place, Glep just breaks his phone and says that he's quitting, resulting in Mr. Boss to say that he's not quitting and that he's fired. Charlie and Alan then say that it's gonna be weird in the group chat now, and Pim just asks what the group chat is, and they just act like it's nothing. They really got a whole other group chat without Pim in it. But we then just see Glep riding in a Lamborghini, pulling up to what I guess is his mansion. Who would have thought that Glep is just rich as fuck? But we then also see that he apparently has a girlfriend, and she says that he spends too much time at work, so she's going home for the holidays. Glep then watches TV depressed before walking through town and arriving at a bar. But the bartender then asks Glep for his ID, and we see that Glep was actually born in 329 AD, but also that his sexuality is just green. But as the bartender says that he must have seen some crazy stuff in his past, we actually go in the Glep's past, arriving in Rome in the year 476 AD, where we see some guards taking Glep to the apparent king, saying that he was stealing apples, and as the king asks him why he shouldn't just kill him, Glep just starts dancing. But instead of smiling and the king's problem being resolved, which is what would happen with any other character that did a silly dance like this in the show, the king just outright kills himself, which then causes the utter destruction of Rome. But we then go to England in the year 1347 AD, where we see Glep being hung as all of these people think he's a witch. But before they kill him, they ask him if he has any last words, and then he just starts spitting black stuff on them, causing all of them to pass out. So yeah, Glep literally caused the Black Plague. But we then cut to Virginia in the United States in the year 1777 AD, where we see a bunch of the old political leaders and presidents just making fun of British people and how they like tea. But then we see Glep, who tries to join the conversation but just makes everything awkward. But we then come back to the bar, where a guy says that he's been around for centuries but still doesn't feel like he belongs anywhere. But then another guy comes in mad as he literally caused the plague, and so once again Glep is told to leave. But then as Glep arrives at a bus station, we go back in time again to Pennsylvania in the United States in the year 1992 AD, where we then see Glep meet Mr. Boss for the first time. Mr. Boss saying that he lost everything in a market crash and that his life is over, before just putting a gun to his head and telling Glep to give him one good reason why he shouldn't pull the trigger. And of course Glep starts doing his dance. But instead of going insane and killing himself like the king in England, Mr. Boss actually smiles, shocked at the fact that he made him smile despite the fact that his life is in shambles. And this then instantly gives Mr. Boss a new business idea, which is simply just making people smile. And so he asks Glep if he wants to help him start the business, which Glep then agrees to, and the two shake hands, and thus Smiling Friends is born. But we then cut back to the present as Glep returns to the Smiling Friends building, where he then sees the kitchen just destroyed and Alan running around crazy and Mr. Boss with an arrow in his eye. But Mr. Boss then says that he's been thinking about how this business was started in the first place and that it was because of Glep. And so he says if he wants to sit on the beanbag and do nothing, that's fine with him, as that's who he is and why he's so cool. Glep then also apologizes, and Mr. Boss asks him if he wants to come back, as Glep says a very sincere
Yeah. Yippee!
Everything then cuts back to normal, with everyone just sitting at a diner table eating Christmas dinner, where we then see Alan's dad just feeding him food, him and his brother, who is all grown up now, and Glep's girlfriend coming back, who brought a dish from her home country which just looks utterly disgusting. We then see this guy giving a deep message about the episode, saying that despite Glep being a weird little green freak that for so long no one ever understood, Glep finally found his place where he belongs, and that no matter how different all these people are, they can all get along with each other. other. But then he says, except for a certain group of people, and pointing to us, the viewers, saying that we know who he's talking about, which then everyone just kind of breaks the fourth wall, just asking him what group of people he's talking about, getting mad at him for saying that, but also then just questioning who the hell this guy even is, as they just then stare at him awkwardly and the episode ends. I love when this show does Christmas specials, so for that alone, I love this episode, but also just finally getting told what Glep does in this show, which is more or less nothing, but he also is the reason that Smiling Friends even started in the first place. It was actually really cool seeing all of his lore and everything that he's been through throughout literal centuries. The episode just kind of makes you happy that Glep is just there even if he is doing nothing. I already like Glep anyways, but this just makes me like him even more. But anyways, there's supposed to be 2 more episodes in this season, supposedly, with season 3 episode 9 being called Friendbot, and season 3 episode 10 being called Charlie's Uncle Dies and Doesn't Come Back. These episodes were leaked about a week ago, and I don't know if they are actually coming, but if they do, expect videos on both of them. And also, when the season is over, you can expect a ranking video of all of the episodes in the entire season. So be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss those when they come out. But nonetheless, that's going to be the end of the video. So I'll see y'all in the next one, whenever that is.